All right, welcome back. It's the time for us to get into the DIY segment now. Of course, when we do DIY, we show you practical ways of handling certain things and dealing with certain things. We haven't seen him in a while, but it's really good to have him back. Bernie Osei-Duah has joined us on the set this morning, and we're going to be talking about job hunting and how to organize and document the information that you gather.
Good morning,
Bernie.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning to you, David and Jifa.
No,
Kokui.
Kokui, oh my word.
And you see, it's been so long.
He's
It's been so long.
It's all good. How you doing?
Kokui, for Jiv.
Forgive.
For Jiv.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven. Forgiven for
Thank
Jets.
you. Thank you for giving me.
No, but this is timely. There are lots of people out there who are looking for opportunities, job opportunities, and they need these kinds of tips. So I think it's important that you're doing it.
Thank you.
Here today.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were going to school. You've got like a whole
I
board
got a whole
and
board
everything.
here.
Yeah.
I got a whole board here, and
Nice.
so
Yes, let's get into it.
All right.
Let's get into it.
So you're talking about organizing and documenting your job hunt information.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. I think that one of the things that people must understand is whenever you send your application to a company, they have no idea you might have done it to 1,000 places. So they look at you on individual basis.
Yeah.
You might have sent it to all those places, but you need to put tabs and ensure that you pay attention to detail on everyone you've sent it to. Either than that, you will miss details, and even in your communication, it will always prove to be vague. So you wouldn't have an idea of what I sent to this company, what they require of me, what specific role did I go for. Sometimes people advertise roles, and you might have interest in 3 of the roles they advertised. You need to know exactly how many roles I've applied with company B or with City TV. So there was a role for HR, I applied. There was a role for a customer service team, I did apply. There was a role for an accounts person, I did. So how do I know what I'm communicating to? Who is even the hiring manager who is owning that particular role? So in my communication, I wouldn't be saying, this is all City TV, and you start blasting just anything to them. So being able to, create an administrative structure of your job hunting is very, very critical to your success when you intend to do it well. And this is why we're having this conversation. All right. So for starters, one of the very important things you need to understand is to list all the different roles you've applied for.
Okay.
So anytime you send your CV or your application or cover letter to a company, it's very important that always have the role. So you create a spreadsheet where you'll be able to bring, let me do this.
Okay.
All right, so being able to know what the role is, all right, is the first thing. So what roles have I applied for?
Okay.
And then to which company?
Okay.
All right. Now, immediately that comes, other administrative information must follow. When people advertise for roles, they tell you which way for you to advertise, to apply.
Okay.
So, for example, they'll tell you email or send a text. All these must be documented.
Okay.
So you have a structure that says that email, text, all right, or WhatsApp.
Okay.
Because today people are trying to find easier ways of filtering through applications. So they'll tell you exactly how they want you to send this out. So when you know the company and then which way or mode of application, one critical thing is also to find out who is owning this application.
Okay.
In this case, the hiring manager. All right. Sometimes they'll tell you send your application to the CEO.
Okay.
Send it to the HR manager. Send it to the hiring manager. Send it to the administrative. You need to pay attention. Because even in your application, when you send through, you must ensure that you are addressing it to the right person. That is required. So that when you even follow up with a phone call, you are asking for the right person. Imagine someone says that send this to the HR manager. And then you make a call and say that, can I talk to the CEO?
Yeah.
They ask, what about?
Yeah.
If you are not careful, the gatekeepers in the organization will throw
shut you out.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you are shooting yourself in the foot when you don't pay attention to these things.
Okay.
One of the things I also picked up is that a lot of people don't pay attention to the roles.
Okay.
So they only send application, and in their subject area, especially if it's an email, application, or there are some funny ones I get sometimes. Application for employment.
Right.
Someone mistakenly application for applicant. And you would, oh yeah, when you deal with CVs, you get different things that filters through. It is important when they say that in the subject area, put in this, copy that, and paste it. Okay. Because they receive tons of emails, not only your application, and they can be able to just search when they get the applications to see who have applied in that with that link or code, so that it becomes easier for them to shortlist you. Either than that, you will end up in the junk basket and might never have an opportunity to be looked at. Although that might be the opportunity you have. All right. So for starters, the role, the company, application mode. So if it's an email, if it's a text or WhatsApp, follow through it. Some people will not ask you to send an email. They'll just say text this number or call. All right. So when you have about 10 applications you're applying, note this, and you do this before you even start pushing information out, so that you can be able to keep track of where you've sent what, who you sent it to, how did you send it. One other thing to add is dates. So let me just add another level. So dates, I hope we can pick this at this level. All right, deadlines. When is this application closing? It is important for you to be able to, and I'm only bringing this as an extension to the other. All right, what are the deadlines? When are they supposed to close? Because this is what will help you to trigger your next action, which is, when should I start following up? All right, if I have a list of applications and sometimes I get it at last minute, it will trigger my next action, because this matters. For example, you're only telling me about a role available today, and the deadline is tomorrow. But I'm already applying for a couple of roles, which has deadlines maybe about the first or second week in May. It means that it will trigger a reaction, to be well informed. When you don't have this, you might just be taking your time scrolling through your list from the top, and it will not be. So this helps you to prioritize what to pay attention to. So when you have the deadlines, it can be able to help you in doing that. Then feedbacks. What feedbacks have you received? What responses have you gotten from those companies? You need to track it. Some will tell you, we'll get back to you by this date. Being able to know what they have communicated will also help you in your next action to take. Because when you have a feedback, you can be able to know what you should be doing next. Some will say, we'll get back to you in 2 weeks. If you are lucky to press for a date and you have a date, it helps you to know that I need to make a call, or I need to send an email to this company, as a follow-up to whatever I might have sent to them. So this spreadsheet helps you to be able to manage your applications effectively. Sometimes you get a response that this application has already, this vacancy has already been filled. So in your action, you know that this is closed. So you don't have to pursue it or look at it anymore. Because people have so much they are going after. Because when you're job hunting, you become hysterical in many instances. Because you're trying to throw things all over the place and see which one gets traction. But when you have a way of documenting where you've sent what to, it helps you to manage effectively and know what to send. One other thing, maybe it should have come even before here, is the kind of documents they expect. All right? Now, people confuse application letters with cover letters and CVs. So you need to be able to know what they are looking for. Some people are only interested in CV. Some will say, bring a CV and a cover letter. Some will say, bring a CV and an application letter. Some want the whole 9 yards plus copies of your certificates. When you know what you sent where, and you actually document what they require, it also helps you to organize yourself. So even if you have to go for printing, of your certificates and send, you have an idea how many people require you to bring this and that. And this is exactly what this kind of document helps for you to manage.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will benefit from listening to this, watching this, and actually doing it. I'm hoping that some people have already opened Excel and they are putting their spreadsheets together. You know, you talk about some of the common things you see, and one of them was, you said people sometimes do generic things, or they put the wrong subject matter. What else have you noticed?
I think the first thing is how people, let me name it as naming conventions. Okay. All right, for CVs, for application letters. When I see a CV, all right, I recently advertised something for an international company. They're looking for business development managers. Okay. By the way, it's still not filled, so if you're interested, you can connect. Okay. So they're looking for 2 business development managers because they're trying to come into Ghana. Okay. Now, when advertised, we said we're looking for business development managers. Now, we received tons of emails, close to about 605. Whoa. Now remember, it's a lot of work to see through emails, not just reading the mail, but going into each CV to shortlist. Yeah. Now, when you do that, you need to download all the CVs. Then you start pacing through them. Imagine if in your download bucket, you have 600 and something CVs, and all you see is CV, resume, CV, resume, CV. I wouldn't even know which one belongs to who. So as an HR, one of the first things I pay attention to are people that have addressed their CVs or named them in the right way. Okay. If it's CV of Kweku David, or CV _ Kweku David. All right. So that when the CV is picked, you know that this belongs to this person. Yeah. If you put it CV, remember it's sitting with over 400 people. I wouldn't know who, and I wouldn't pay attention because I want to make my life easier also. I'm too young to, what I mean? So you don't want to die too quickly going through 400 of no names, right? So one of the first things that people need to take or pay attention to is put your name on every single document you save. So if your name is Kweku David, and this is an application letter for whatever role, business development manager. So I said application, business development or BDM _ Kweku David. Okay. Yeah. So that will tell the hirer that this document immediately belongs to this person. Yeah. Right. Because HR deals with tons of documents all the time. Yeah. So you need to make it easier for them to handle what you have brought to them. That's one of the major things I see people make mistakes on. That's good.
Now, I'm just curious. I mean, before you start job hunting, if you can just share with us, the processes, how your mind should work, as you're getting into it.
There is something I developed lately for what I call emotional intelligence for job hunters. Okay. Trying to find partners to actually run it as a free workshop. Okay. Nice. See, a lot of job hunters go through a lot of emotional turmoils, emotional challenges. And sometimes the disappointments, the rejections, someone will go through the process all the way until, so their hopes are up. And then suddenly along the line, it crashes. The Bible says that hope deferred makes the heart sick. But when the desires come to pass, it's the gift of life. So as long as they go through, someone could have been home for 4 years. So suddenly there's a hope. They're going through the first interview. Whoa, it looks up, they were called or received a message. They go into the second. So they are hoping that this is it for them. Then suddenly comes crashing. To gather themselves, to even go through that energy, the mindset to start again, is a whole new ball game. Because people take rejection differently. Yeah. And it matters how they are able to, get themselves up. So when you are not mentally strong, this is where emotional intelligence plays a major role. When you don't have that mental capacity to be able to shove the rejection and take the next step, you will crumble. So people try it, they send it a couple of places, they don't see anything coming, guess what? They throw in the towel and they become couch potatoes. Yeah. And they work for Housing Corporation the whole time.
Bernie, oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. What do you make of people who apply for jobs that I won't say they're not qualified for, but perhaps they say the job description says, okay, you need to have an MBA in, HR or something, or marketing. and you think, well, I have a master's degree, but it's not in that field, but I have some good work experience. I think I'm capable of doing this job and anything else they could train me on. Now, what do you say to people like that who want to take a chance to apply for a job that maybe the specifications and the criteria don't exactly match, but they believe that it's something they can do?
Okay. I would say, and maybe just straightforward, go for it.
Okay.
See, many hirers look at different things. When I look through, unless the client is specific, because of my training and my background, I understand competence and what it means to have skill beyond qualifications.
Okay.
Because I've met a lot of people with a lot of very good looking qualifications,
but
who are, okay, all right, let's fast forward.
But on the,
you
on
know,
the,
and I tell you, I've seen too many. So for me, it's more about an outcome-based approach to hiring. So sometimes I've met people who don't even have degrees, but what they bring to the table, you will be wowed. Because the experiences, the work they've done, all right, I'm willing to take a chance on that, you know, and really develop the person into the role.
Okay.
But like I said, there are some organizations with strict policies on hiring. And one of the initial filters is the person must have an MBA.
Right.
So if you wouldn't know,
right,
that is their policy. So go for it.
Okay.
If you're lucky, good, you know, good at it. If not, look at the next application. But when you realize that this is a role I can play, I might not have all the qualifications, but I believe that my experiences and maybe professional certifications might compensate somewhere.
Okay.
Why not? Go for it.
Go for it. Take a leap of faith.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Fantastic.
Like
any tips on best methods for job hunting? You know, I mean, so let's say you're out of work, you need work, and you're looking for a job. What would be your go-to way of approaching it? I mean, some people say newspapers and just go through the newspapers, but is that a good way?
See, people do
in
business.
2022.
I wouldn't throw away newspapers, but I've come to realize and learn that people do business with those they like and trust. People would hire someone they can relate with. See,
so networking.
It plays a major role. All right? I've come to realize that you can hire an attitude and train a skill.
I like that.
And this is critical. You can't train an attitude.
Okay.
It's developed over a period.
Yeah.
And skill can be trained. I can make you a professional trainer. Give me 1 week.
Okay.
I will camp you, coach you, and by the time you get out, the way you speak, the way you handle, the way you approach, you know, knowledge sharing would be different. So skill can be transferred, but attitude is a whole new ball game.
Okay.
When it comes to the element of different things to look at by the component, if you're trying to get a job, see, don't only follow the newspaper, because sometimes, to be honest, some of these companies are only trying to fulfill all righteousness, but they have the side gigs on the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go through the process, but the decision was made before the application
was even put
was
out
even
there.
advertised.
Yeah.
So that is where, for me, it becomes critical. Being able to relate with the right people. This is where one of my best models is volunteering your time. I can walk into CT and say that I've got like 24 hours a week on my hand that I want to learn, you know, the corporate structures and be trained, be developed to be equipped. I want to offer my time, my skill, and my knowledge to CT 2 days in the week. But unfortunately, because of the nature of my work or other requirements, I might do 4 hours a day or something. If CT agrees and puts me on, it means I get to walk in here. What I do is I show people, one, how they can trust and they can be able to see what I can do. Because when people know they can be able to depend on you and they can trust your ability to deliver, decisions becomes easier than someone coming in with a letter and a CV.
Yeah.
So one of the ways is, listen, volunteer your time. It doesn't have to be 24/7. No.
Yeah.
Do 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Do 4 hours. Do a day in the week somewhere.
Yeah.
Just offer it.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think through, how am I going to travel to the foot it, walk if you have to.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do is to let decision makers understand that maybe I don't have an opportunity, but I'm worth being here and I want to be here.
Yeah.
Today's young people, you know, are very entitled. You know, they feel.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Shake the table.
I'm dialing some numbers.
Shake the table. Wow.
You know, so they feel. Hey, I did, you know, an interview for one of the, you know, the companies I consult for, and we're looking for 2 stock audit executives. 4 people were in the interview, but there was one lady, the only lady among them. You could realize that she's done communication, she can speak. So we already have plans for other things. It's not started yet. The CEO was in the meeting. And in my mind, you know what? Why not? So I proposed to her, you don't have the skill set and the qualification for this. Would you take on an intern role? She blatantly threw it off.
Oh, wow.
Blatantly.
Oh, wow.
If she had.
Yeah.
Because the CEO was ready.
Yeah.
Oh, to
Even
train
if she
her
walked up,
for the bigger opportunity.
See, she's expanding. She's looking for good people. And I felt, you know what? Stop pushing for this because you can't.
Yeah.
You know, the basic requirements they're looking for, you don't even have it. But we can put you somewhere.
Yeah.
They walk into a room with this mindset. I don't know who tells them what.
Yeah.
That, you know, sometimes these things get to happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bernie, how do people reach you? How do people get in touch with you?
So my number, which is also on WhatsApp, is 0500 200 944.
Okay.
0500 200 944. Okay. Other than that, I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram and also Facebook and Twitter as Bernie Osei-Duah or Bernard Osei-Duah. You'll find me.
Okay.
Nice one.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Bernie.
Well,